day, every dog has its day. And in the elite world of purebreds, that day is today. Join me as we go behind closed doors of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, where 2,500 compete, but only one will leave as best in show.
More than 43 million of us own dogs. They are frisbee-catching, ball-retrieving, hole-digging, devoted companions. Even if you think you know dogs, you've probably never seen dogs like these.
I've got something to show you.
The purebreds that compete here have more in common with beauty contestants, supermodels, or star athletes. 126 years old, Westminster is the most prestigious dog show in the country.
This is our World Series, our Super Bowl, our Miss America. It's everything. It's what we live for.
Every year, champions from all over the U.S. and Canada descend upon the Big Apple to play Madison Square Garden. When your dog show's here, you know you've hit the big time.
What makes the Westminster the show of all show for dogs?
It's the show of all shows because it is an elite show. All of the dogs are champions. They generally are one of the top 5 in their breed in the country.
And as you can hear behind us, I mean, the fans, you get a lot of people that show up, and they are passionate.
They are indeed, and sometimes this is the only dog show they'll go to from one year to the next.
I think there might be a surprise or two in store for us tonight.
Okay, it's going to be exciting as we work our way to Best in Show.
Millions of people watch it on TV, but they only see part of the story. We obtained special access to follow several of the year's top contenders throughout the competition to find out what really goes on in the ring and backstage behind closed doors. On television, dog expert David Fry gives his professional opinion, and baseball commentator Joe Garagiola provides the colorful play-by-play.
But if I sent him to the kennel, I'd say wash him and then iron him. He's got, look at the wrinkles.
Lots of wrinkles. They have a lot more as puppies than they do as adults.
You guys really play well off of each other.
Well, he knows everything. He's an
Yeah.
owner, breeder, handler. This show knocks me out when David Fry says, that bitch had a big night. The first time he said that, I said, if I said that in a game, I'm out of it, you know? But that's okay. In this one, you can say, that bitch had a big night.
For the audience, it's all bright lights and glamour.
Because you got to believe that's right out of Harry Potter.
But backstage, it's an entirely different story. Behind the scenes, it's controlled chaos. And for the dogs, it's nothing but a sea of legs and feet.
Good boy.
Your dog may get an occasional bath, but show dogs get a complete makeover on a regular basis. They're bathed, blow-dried, clipped, and fussed over. These dogs are as carefully coiffed as any model.
To get ready for this show, it took about 8 hours of grooming and shaving and bathing and drying.
She goes to sleep through a lot of it. She just lies down on the table and sleeps.
Ike, sit down. He's like, that's a good boy. I bet this feels good, doesn't it? Does that feel good?
Over the next 2 days, a field of 2,500 dogs will be narrowed down to 7 finalists who will compete for the grand prize, Best in Show.
What does the dog or the owner get for winning?
Well, if he wins Best in Show at Westminster, he gets a lot of applause and 1 silver trophy, and that's it.
So it's the prestige, really.
It is the
of having one.
prestige.
Not only do they not win any money, owners can spend a fortune just to compete here. Traveling to more than 100 shows a year, hiring a handler to train and show the dog, and buying ads to promote the animal can really add up.
What do you think you spend a year?
It depends if you hire a handler or not. Up to you could go up to $100,000.
$100,000 a year? You're an expensive little pooch, you know that?
Across the street from Madison Square Garden, every year the Hotel Pennsylvania goes to the dogs with more than 1,000 canine guests. The competitors begin arriving days before the show.
some of the owners and handlers actually request a bed for the dog. And many of our dog guests are also returning guests, so we've begun to recognize some of them.
The dogs get their first nervous look at the competition. There's no extra charge for the dogs, regardless of their size. 90% of the guests are here for Westminster.
Oh, wow, a first-timer. Well, welcome to the hotel. The four-legged guests are obviously very well behaved. They never seem to have an issue with the size or type of their accommodations. Their handlers and owners they're just terrific folks. There really isn't anything special aside from the extra pillow requests.
The hotel basement becomes part doggy salon and puppy powder room.
New York's not a very user-friendly place for dogs that aren't accustomed to living in the city. You know, we have a German Shepherd that looks at the concrete sidewalks and says, okay, I'm in trouble now, where do I go to the bathroom? You know, having them provide this area downstairs where the dogs can potty and the bathing facilities really makes life a lot simpler.
Some of these guests won't be staying long. Less than 10% of the contestants will make it past the first round. From the very beginning, it's win or go home. When we come back, we go behind closed doors with the dog favored to win Westminster and the competition begging to beat him.
Behind Closed Doors will continue in a moment here on A&E. Behind Closed Doors with Joan Lunden continues here on A&E.
Day one at Westminster, the largest and most prestigious dog show of the year. It's held each winter in Madison Square Garden. You might say these are the dog days of February. 5:30 a.m., just hours before the big show. This is Mick. He may look like just another dog on an early morning walk, but he's far from ordinary. During the year, his handler, Bill McFadden, took him to 138 dog shows. Mick did so well, he was ranked as the year's top dog. Now he's a favorite to win Westminster's grand prize, Best in Show. Like any sport, there's a psychological element to the competition, and Bill is strategically downplaying Mick's chances to win.
I don't think that we're the favorite. I think we're being kind of used as the pawn to take pressure off the dog I think is going to win. So I don't feel any pressure at all. Come on, bud. Let's go.
As for Mick, he seems to be saying, bring it on.
He's totally jazzed up. He knows today's the day. So probably because of the bath last night. You know, that's kind of his signal that it's about ready to happen.
Hey, that's Kerry Blue.
Yeah.
It's the winner.
We hope.
That's right here.
6:30 a.m. Mick and Bill arrive at the garden. Backstage, you can already feel the tension. Soon, the arena will be transformed into a four-ring circus filled with dogs of every shape and size. 7 a.m. Karen Mamano is busy getting her dogs ready for the preliminary round. She's another top handler and has 13 dogs entered at Westminster.
What kind of a house do you have that you have these 13 dogs, like these huge
Actually,
dogs?
we normally have about 20 to 25 dogs living at the house in the kennel.
Owners pay Karen to train and show their dogs. The animals live and travel with her.
It's my dream. I love to do it, but my passion for it is because of the dogs. I love the dogs.
The handlers are a combination: coach, personal trainer, cook, hairstylist, housekeeper, and chaperone. They make anywhere from $20,000 a year up to $100,000. Only an elite few make the big bucks. For the handlers, it's not just a job, it's a way of life.
I spend 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, basically doing dogs. And if I got paid by the hour, I would be on a yacht in Rio de Janeiro. But I love what I do. I wouldn't trade what I do for anything.
This is Janice. She won the World Dog Show this year. Out of all of Karen's dogs, Janice is special. For Karen, this will be a difficult show. It's the last one for her Siberian Husky. Win or lose, Janice will hang up her leash and retire.
She'll go home with her owner and live in Connecticut, but it'll be hard because she's been a wonderful dog. We do about 140 shows a year, and she's been at every one with me. She's one of the most special, aren't you? And she knows it.
By noon, hundreds of dogs have already been eliminated. In the first round of competition, dogs compete against others in the same breed. While Janice waits backstage, in ring 2, it's Mick's turn to compete against 4 other Kerry Blue Terriers. Like a fashion model on a runway, Mick struts around the ring.
He responds to the electricity that you feel, and I mean, some of it's the applause and the hooting and hollering and stuff that, you know, gets him up. He's got a pretty healthy ego. He just says, I'm just the dude on the lead, you know, they're here to see him.
A judge evaluates the dogs on how they move, how they look, and how they present themselves. The judge also examines each of them from head to tail in a way that would make most dogs bite and most people cringe.
Could any of us pass that test? I don't know.
Pass it. Well, I tell you what, though, the way I watch them handle the dogs, if they did that to me, I'd be smiling too.
In ring 2, it's all over in a matter of minutes. The judge makes his decision. Mick wins the best in his breed.
I won. I did good.
That's 1 round down, but Mick will have to win 2 more rounds to bring home the Best in Show trophy. Judging a dog show is unlike any beauty pageant or sporting event. In each ring, there's only one judge who stands in the middle of the action. There's no scoreboard, no referees, and no instant replay.
When it's all said and done, it's really just one judge's opinion on that day.
Watching this first round, it was hard to tell precisely what the judge was doing. And to a novice, all of the dogs pretty much look alike. So backstage, Kimberly Ann Meredith, a judge with years of experience, let me in on exactly what they're looking for.
I'm looking at how well he conforms to the AKC written standard, which basically describes what the entire dog should look like. And I'm looking for the perfect specimen.
So what would you be looking for right now? Eyes?
I would be looking at his eye shape, the size of his ear, where they're set on the head, the length of his muzzle, the depth of his muzzle.
Now I noticed that you put your hand right out there to check the teeth.
And I have to check this dog's bite. You just quickly go in, you can see a scissors bite, you're in, you're out.
A quick tooth check was easy enough with this Malamute, but with some breeds, the judge actually has to count the dog's teeth. For them, the bite is more important than the bark.
Do you have any trepidation of putting your hand out there into a dog's mouth?
You shouldn't be judging if you do.
Have you ever been bitten?
Yes. It happens to judges, yes. So
I guess that dog wouldn't win?
No, they get disqualified and they can never be shown again.
Really?
Right.
On the floor, I noticed the handlers continually adjusting the dog's legs. It's called stacking.
Now he's stacked in a show position with his legs underneath him to show his front, to show his neck, to show his shoulder angulation.
And is that something a dog is taught just like they're taught to sit?
Exactly. Exactly. And most of them actually, if they're built correctly, will walk right into a stack. You don't even have to touch most of them.
Meanwhile, backstage, Karen waits with Janice amid a sea of nervous handlers and their huskies.
You got some fans, girlfriend.
The carpet in the ring can be slippery, so Karen uses a special spray that will give Janice's paws better traction. A comb here, a finishing touch there, then it's showtime.
Come on.
They run, then they wait. There are a few adjustments. Next, the judge examines each dog. There's one final lap around the ring, and the suspense builds. With a subtle wave of the hand, the judge picks Janice as the winner. Out of a field of 27 huskies, she is chosen as the best in her breed and now has one victory under her collar.
She did it. She did it.
She is properly proportioned. She was in fabulous condition and she was beautifully presented. I just thought the bitch was really showing her heart out. And it is a dog show after all.
3 p.m. The field of 2,500 is rapidly dwindling. Janice and Mick each have one victory, but the show is far from over. The semifinal rounds are next, and at Westminster, anything can happen. When we come back, the pressure mounts. Does Mick have it in him? And can Janice go out a winner?
Behind Closed Doors will continue in a moment here on A&E. Behind Closed Doors with Joan Lunden continues here on A&E.
It's one round down and 2 more to go at the Westminster Dog Show. Out of the 2,500 dogs who started out this morning, only 7 will make it to the final round. 4 p.m., backstage behind closed doors at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, boy, say hi!
Mick, the Kerry Blue Terrier considered the favorite to win Best in Show, has 4 hours to rest until his next round. Handler Cara Mamano and her husky Janice are also taking a break. Everywhere you look backstage, you see dogs in row upon row of crates.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about show dogs?
That we mistreat them, that them being in crates is a bad thing. And what people don't understand is the crates are their safety net. Most of these dogs go in their crates and they're comfortable. They sleep in them, they eat in them. That's their house.
And sometimes the dogs have house guests, like their handlers, when they're dog tired.
What time is it?
8 p.m., 10 minutes to go before Janice's next round. Karen's emotions are running high. She has spent 4 years showing Janice. Win or lose, this will be the Husky's last competition before she retires.
I just want her to have fun. I just want her to go out there and know that and do what she does best.
This next round is the semifinals. 159 dogs made the first cut and won Best of their breed. These dogs are now divided into 7 groups.
This is the level where it gets very competitive.
Janice will go up against 20 others in the working dog category. If she wins this round, she'll be in the final 7.
Stretch it out. Good girl.
May we have the working group in the ring, please?
You walk onto that floor, it's magic. It's incredible. And the crowd goes wild, and you gate your dogs, and they are screaming at the top of their lungs, and it's wonderful.
Janice and the other dogs take their first lap around the ring. Now they're not only under the scrutiny of the judge, they're on camera. Millions of people will be watching this round on television.
Most of these dogs are pretty powerfully built. They're very smart.
And you have to really add that they're all champions. Keep that in mind.
Karen and Janice give it their best shot as the judge carefully weighs his decision. But this time, Janice loses to a standard schnauzer named Rocky. As Karen leaves the ring, she knows with this loss, her husky's career has come to an end.
She'll go home, and then hopefully we'll have puppies out of her, and hopefully in 2 years I'll be back with a puppy. She's the love of my life. You're my girl.
"8:40 p.m. and time for mixed group. He'll be competing against 26 different types of terriers.
Carrier group this evening will be judged.
Each dog handles the pressure differently. Mick loves the limelight, and it's up to Bill to keep him in check. While some of the dogs look like they want to play, Mick looks like he wants to win.
He looks on to me. You know, a dog like this, he's been in 128 groups this year and has won 127 of them.
His spirited trot wins over the crowd. Now comes the hard part, waiting for the judge to decide.
Well, there's always anxiety because you're just, you know, I mean, it gets to a point where you're just like, just point at somebody, you know, me, anybody, let's just get this moment over.
I'm gonna put the carry out first.
Finally, the decision is made. Mick is chosen as the best of the terriers. This win puts him in the elite group of the 7 finalists.
Look at Mick, he's excited.
Oh, it's just like, you know, we can relax now for a while.
After a long day, Bill and Mick savor the victory. But there's still one more day to go. Tomorrow is the final round for the Best in Show award. 11 a.m., the final day of the Westminster Dog Show. 4 out of the 7 finalists have been chosen, and competition continues in the arena.
I'm sorry, but every time I see a dog like that, I figure the door closed too soon.
For Bill and Mick, it will be a long day of waiting for the final showdown.
Does he, by the way, do regular pet tricks? I mean, does he know the sit and lie down and all that stuff?
Not really. We're working on it. I want to take him through obedience when he's done being shown.
So you, a dog handler who comes to Westminster, has just as much trouble as the rest of us out here?
It's like dealing with a prima donna, you know? It's like, I don't care if that's my mark or not, I'm going to stand over here. So we do our best.
Out in the ring, there are no excuses. One misstep by a dog or handler can mean the difference between winning and losing.
It's picking up all the bait off the floor, thank you.
4-legged vacuum cleaner.
Judging continues all day and into the night. Meanwhile, the handlers whose dogs didn't make it to the finals are packing up to go home.
The bitter end.
You have won.
By 10 p.m., the finalists have all been selected.
Does Mick know that he's in the final 7?
Mick thinks every person in this building is here to see him. So yes, he knows he's in the final 7.
Are you almost ready to go to Best in Show?
1 and 7.
I'm really rooting for you.
48 hours ago, there was a field of 2,500 champions. Now, only 7 remain, each vying for the coveted Silver Cup. Years of breeding and training and stiff competition all come down to one final round.
10:30 p.m. The crowd of nearly 15,000 is ready, and so are the competitors.
May we have the 7 group winners in the ring, please.
Remember now, the overwhelming favorite was Mick, but oh man, he's got some tough competition.
From ringside, I watched the judge putting the dogs through their paces. In the end, the entire competition comes down to one man's opinion, and that man is Judge Everett Dean. This is the first time Dean has seen these dogs. For the past 2 days, he has been kept in seclusion. He wasn't even allowed to watch the show on television.
Don't crowd, please.
The announcers introduce the finalists.
The Rhodesian Ridgeback. Here's the Standard Schnauzer, number 2 dog all breeds last year. Here's the Brittany, the top sporting dog in the country. Here goes Sammy Sosa, the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Here's the miniature poodle, Spice Girl. This is it for Mick.
Mick knows it.
He looks good. And Cosmo, the crowd loves Cosmo too.
Comparing a tiny toy dog with a large hound may seem like an impossible task, but Judge Dean is looking for the dog that most closely conforms to that breed's standard of perfection. He's also looking for the animal with that extra spark of personality.
Whoa!
It looks like it will come down to Mick and the miniature poodle named Spice Girl.
I think this is the big threat right here to upset.
After 11 agonizing minutes in the ring, the judge writes down his final decision as silence falls over the crowd.
These are 7 magnificent show dogs. Here comes Mr. Dean.
Miniature poodle.
Miniature poodle. The miniature poodle. Champion Surrey Spice Girl, owned by Ron and Barbara Scott. There's Ron Scott.
Wow.
He's excited.
In a major upset, Spice Girl is named Best in Show. Bill and the other handlers show no trace of disappointment. While they're in the ring, everyone has their game face on.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't
as far
care.
As he's concerned.
I told you, he knows they're all here to see him. He doesn't care who actually gets pointed at. So.
This is going to put on a spectacular show tonight out there.
She's about the moody one.
A moody one?
Yeah, sometimes she show action, sometimes she says, no, I don't want to do this.
Do you think she knows she won?
Yes.
You think so?
At the end of the 126th Westminster Dog Show, Spice Girl will retire a winner. Janice will go home to breed. Mick will continue to compete. And like most of the handlers, Bill will probably be back next year when once again Madison Square Garden goes to the dogs. The Westminster Dog Show behind closed doors.